So, as Ria said, my name is Jenaia Morane, also known as Jenna Ball in my first life, and I'll be your storyteller and guide on what I hope will be an entertaining and thought-provoking introduction to my latest project, Song Flight. Song Flight is a global initiative and it's designed to support Ukrainian kids displaced by the war. It uses stories, songs, and creative projects to connect them with other kids around the world. The goal is to allow the kids to learn from and with each other in order to develop emotional intelligence they'll need to grow into kind and capable adults. But before I get into the particulars of how Songflight works, let's make sure we have a working definition of emotional intelligence. How would you guys define emotional intelligence? Please type your answers into chat. I know you guys have opinions about this, so don't be shy. What is emotional intelligence? The ability to understand our emotions. That's a good one, Fran. You don't shoot earthlings. Yeah, that's probably not a good idea. How to manage emotions. Yeah, that's a good one. Thanks, Buffy. Anybody else? Understanding others' emotions. Yes, that's a good one. Thanks, thinker. Having the ability to recognize and understand emotions in yourself. That's a good one. Rest, that's a good one. Gentle, emotional ability to perceive, express, understand, and manage emotions. Yes, very good. How we learn and share information through emotions. Ooh, that's a good one, Lear. So the definition I like best is this one from Daniel Goleman, a pioneer in the study and application of emotional intelligence. Goleman breaks emotional intelligence into 5 parts or skills. That's a good one, dancers. So those 5 skills are emotional self-awareness, which means knowing what you're feeling at any given time and understanding the impact of those feelings. Um, Self-regulation, controlling or redirecting your emotions and being able to anticipate consequences before acting on them. Motivation, utilizing emotions to help you achieve goals. Empathy, sensing the emotions of others. And social skills, managing relationships and inspiring others to achieve their goals. I thought that was a pretty comprehensive and good one. So the reason Goldman's 5 skills appeal to me is because I've seen them in action. I spent the last 14 years learning about how the brain processes emotion while writing books and creating programs that help kids develop and practice emotional intelligence. Here is what the kids and their teachers have taught me. How a child feels has a huge impact on what and how they learn. Any teacher can tell you that a child who feels safe, seen, and appreciated learns better than one who's sad, angry, or fearful. It just makes sense, right? The reason happy kids learn better than those who are upset is due to the brain's response to negative emotions. When a child is anxious, angry, or afraid, the part of the brain that assesses threats, known as the amygdala, goes into flight, fight, freeze mode, and the learning center, the prefrontal cortex, shuts down. making it almost impossible to learn. Emotional intelligence is as it's well, therefore, emotional intelligence is as important as factual knowledge because it's impossible for the brain to separate the two. Information and emotion are hardwired together in the brain. In other words, you don't get facts without feelings. So, what you're probably wondering, does all this have to do with the war in Ukraine? Let's make a short jump back in time. It's February 24th, 2022, and Russia has just invaded Ukraine. Within hours, a mass exodus of women and children begins. 8 months and 19 days later, more than half of Ukraine's estimated 7.5 million children have been displaced by the war. This includes more than 1.8 million children who have crossed into neighboring countries as refugees, and 2.5 million who are now internally displaced inside Ukraine. To say that Ukrainian children are in desperate need of emotional as well as physical support is a huge understatement. So, how can we help? The answer to that question came to me while I was thinking about what the kids have taught me. The one thing that always stands out is the way they work together to make an idea or project better. For example, when I was looking for a project to go with my new book, The Not Perfect Hat Club, the kids in a special ed class in New York suggested we make and sell not perfect hats. They not only came up with a pattern, but raised the money to buy materials, borrowed sewing machines, and made the hats themselves. They were rock stars, I'm telling you. And if that wasn't enough, they sold over $800 worth of hats at $2 a pop. So you see, the answer was right in front of me. What I needed was a way to enable kids to reach out to, learn from, and collaborate creatively with one another. I'm calling my solution. This is the Song Flight. This is the Song Flight logo, and I chose the owl because it is both fierce and wise. I mentioned earlier, Songflight is a global initiative that uses stories, songs, and creative collaboration to connect Ukrainian children with other kids all around the world. So the goals of Songflight are to let Ukrainian kids know they're seen and heard, develop and strengthen emotional intelligence and core literacy skills, like reading and writing and listening, encourage creativity and self-awareness, and finally, give educators and parents the tools they need to run Songfight programs of their own. So, how does Songflight work? Songflight is made up of what I'm calling flights. It helps to think of a flight as a travel itinerary you make with a travel agent. But instead of traveling by plane, you'll be using birds and the internet to reach your destinations. Each flight begins with one group of kids in one location. Then it travels forward, stopping at each location on the itinerary until it reaches its final destination. So, for example, a flight might originate in Toronto, Canada, with a class of fifth graders, then fly to Sacramento, California for a visit with a group of Girl Scouts, then fly down south to Buenos Aires for a visit with a class of third graders, then all the way across the ocean to meet with a group of Ukrainian kids staying in a refugee camp in Poland. You get the idea. At its most basic level, a flight is a connection between two children. Stories, music, artwork, and creative activities are used to encourage the exchange of information. The development of emotional intelligence, core literacy skills, and respect for differences is, of course, part of this. Also, friendship. More on what actually happens during a flight in a moment. As I said, a basic flight consists of two children being connected and learning from and with each other. However, experience has taught us that bringing whole classrooms of kids together with diverse backgrounds and points of view can greatly enhance both the learning and the fun. Therefore, the goal is to develop a model that can be used to connect dozens, even hundreds of classrooms globally. Needless to say, this is a big project, and we want to be sure that we've thoroughly tested and worked out any bugs in our system before we launch globally. That's why we've broken Songflight into three phases. Phase one is fundraising, team and community building, and a simple two-way flight with two classrooms. Depending on how the situation evolves in Ukraine, we'd like to have one classroom in the USA and one from Ukraine taking part. As part, I can hear your bird, Ria. As part of phase one, we created a Patreon page for people to sign up and support us. You can also make one-time donations from the website. And anyone who contributes can have a sunflower planted in the name of a child in their life. This initial funding will cover the costs to set up and run the technology platforms, authoring and illustrating the Songflight stories, and paying Ukrainian artists and musicians who are contributing to the Songflight materials. They're doing amazing work. Just, I don't know how they're doing it without electricity, but they're doing it. Um, then we will create a Songflight press kit and file the IP trademarks with our lawyer. What you see here is an illustration of the sea of sunflowers, which I'll be taking you to see in a few minutes. It's really magical to see them all spinning. But you can imagine, the kids' names are on each of the sunflowers, and if they want to provide a song or a message, we put that in the sunflowers too. Okay, so now we're back to the actual presentation. Phase two is a pilot with 10 classrooms in 10 different countries, and our goal is to start in the USA and finish week 12 in Ukraine. The goals of phase two are to obtain proof of concept. This will mean not only running the weekly sessions, but assessing the children before and after they participate to see what kind of impact Songflight has. This will mean hiring mental health professionals and finding translators and organizations that know where the Ukrainian children are living. Once we have proof of concept, we plan to start looking for additional grant funding. Phase three. We have three big goals for phase three. Create the playbook that will be needed to empower others to run their own song flights. It also means creating a monetization plan for the program, IP, and associated merchandise. Goal two is to do a global two-way launch so that multiple Songflight programs are running simultaneously. I can hardly wait to see this. Goal three is to begin work on a virtual platform in a virtual world. We want kids to be able to safely meet from anywhere in the world as avatars. More on that soon, but anybody who knows me knows how excited I am about that. So, but how does Songflight actually work? I'm laughing because I get that question all the time from people when I talk about the project. So I thought I'd explain some of the nuts and bolts of how the program is designed to help the kids connect and learn from each other. When creating Songflight, I started with what my 14 years of teaching social emotional learning programs taught me. There are three things I found work best. Story-driven topics that help kids identify with characters and experience how those characters work through their difficulties. Discussions with adults who can help kids work through their own questions and emotions. And creative collaborative projects that encourage kids to use and integrate what they've learned in real-world settings. When I began to think of how I wanted to connect the kids through Song Flight, I started with a story. As many of you know, I'm a writer and illustrator by trade and a bit of a story addict. Human beings are storytellers and learn best by hearing and sharing them. So I began Songflight with a collection of 10 stories called Into the Murmuration. Does anybody know what a murmuration is? It's a really amazing phenomenon where groups of birds all fly, thousands of them fly together. It's yes. So in the stories, one of the coolest collective nouns. Yes, it's true, General. The murmurations are used kind of magically in each of the stories to initiate an adventure. So whenever one of the characters has a murmuration appear, you know something special is going to happen in the book. Not to you personally. Don't mean to scare you. Okay. So as I mentioned before, song flight can be as small as 2 people and as large as 10 classes. Step one in the process is to have a class sign up to take part in an upcoming flight. So suppose the flight was scheduled for January 1st, classes would sign up to take part. Signups end when 10 classes have signed up or the deadline is reached. The entire flight will take 12 weeks. Now we come to the fun stuff. So after signing up, each class will be assigned a bird clan and a week to do a presentation during the flight. Both are assigned through random drawings. There are 10 bird clans. You can see them up there on the board. Classes are responsible for learning as much as they can about the clan they're assigned. This includes answering questions such as, what are the birds' scientific names? Where and how have they appeared in history? Where in the world can they be found and how do they fit into their ecosystems? What are their natural predators? What's the difference between males and females? What do they eat? What sounds do they make? What, if any, myths, superstitions, or beliefs are associated with members of the birds? Have members of the clan appeared in artwork? You get the idea. Each class is responsible for presenting what it learns about its bird clan during the week. They should also be ready to answer questions from other classes. In addition to gathering information, the members of the class will choose a bird from their clan to be their class mascot. They will work together to create an image, photo, drawing, painting, collage, etc., to represent their mascot. Each class member will choose a bird from the clan to be their companion. So for example, if class number 1 is assigned the corvid clan, which includes ravens and crows, etc., they will research and learn about corvids. Choose one particular species, perhaps a raven, to represent their class as their mascot. Then they'll work together to create an image. The week they are responsible for presenting about their bird clan, they will share what they've learned and answer questions. I hope I'm getting specific enough because people always complain that they want details. So below is a breakdown of what happens in each of the 12 weeks. So in week 1, which is getting started, we do introductions via asynchronous video chat. If any of you know Flipgrid, it's a fabulous program and platform. We listen to and start to learn the Songflight song, which you will hear in a little bit. Let's see. The positions of the kids in the classes in the flight are assigned via random drawing. Each class is assigned a bird clan via random drawing. Each class receives information about its clan, illustrations to color, and helpful links. Each class chooses a name for its clan and posts it to the flight page. And each class chooses a bird from its clan to be its mascot. Each clan begins to collaboratively create an image of their mascot, and each child chooses a bird from the clan to be their personal guide. Week 2. The week begins with a live author reading from the Murmuration. The reading is followed by Q&A and discussion. This is what happens every week. There's a live author reading, Q&A, and discussion of the topics and themes, and then an author-led creative activity or mindfulness exercise. Students from the group that are assigned to present that week share their information, and finally, the students in the group that presented create a letter that contains a written message, the name of a song, and any drawings they like to share with the next class that's coming behind them. This letter will be carried by their bird to the second group, think carrier pigeons. So week 3 through 11 repeat the same steps in week 2 with a different author reading and student group each week. I think it's important to mention that there will be a where the students will have their artwork and writing posted as well, so that everybody gets a chance to share, and we'll be blogging every week about what they've done. That was me, sorry. So week 12, it's party time. A live musician will perform for the kids. Parents, teachers, and the kids will gather via a live video to share their pictures, sing songs, and show off their artwork. I'm assuming that you know by now there's a lot more to Songfly, and I could go on, but I think I'll stop for now. Do any of you have any questions before I invite you to hear the debut of the Songflight theme song and see the Sea of Sunflowers too? Questions are always good because I've been buried in this project for so long that you kind of lose sight of some things. So if you have any questions or suggestions, I'd love to hear them. Oh, thank you. I know it's a lot of information to take in really fast, so I hope I didn't overwhelm you. Yeah, I've already had it's very kind, some Ukrainian families have very kindly uh, asked their kids to, color birds and write messages and stuff, and it's beginning to really take off there. I think because the kids really need something to do and think about other than what's going on in their country. Oh, that's a good question, Marley. So Critterkin, which is my first children's media program that I've been doing for 14 years, um, is features dogs and cats occasionally, but mostly dogs for the same reason. I chose birds because of the flight thing that birds could travel. And God, the flamingos. Can flamingos fly? The only criteria was that they had to be birds that could fly. Like I love emus and ostriches and stuff, but they can't fly. Oh, flamingos can fly. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, so one of the creative activities I do every week is I teach the children how to draw something. I mean, it doesn't have to be a bird every week, but they seem to really enjoy learning how to draw their particular bird. So, and then I asked them to go ahead and do things like make up their own birds. Like if you could make up any bird, what would it look like, right? So we try to take it and extrapolate, make it as creative as possible. One kid told me that his bird had angel wings. I thought that was so sweet. Any more questions, comments, suggestions? I would love to do that. And this is Marley, that's part of one of the reasons I want a virtual space. I mean, I do have a sim and I can put their artwork there, and I will. But I would really like to have a space where the kids could come in and see their work because of course when they see their work, it makes them feel good, you know. So I've been talking to Linden Lab. I have the space. You can go up and look at it today if you'd like. We're going to go to my sim in a minute. You can see what I've started. Um, yeah, it's a collective story. One of the things I'd like to do is make a collection of the children's stories and self-publish it. Well, you know what, Marley? We could also just have galleries all over the grid exhibit the kids' stuff, and then we could go from gallery to gallery, like gallery hopping one day. So when you get to my sim, you can see what I've started there. There is space for the kids. The question is, of course, um, locking it down and making sure they're safe. So that's one of the things I'm raising money for. We just launched phase one, where we're trying to get the minimum viable project up and going. I have a couple of friends, well, I have many friends now in Ukraine, but they're helping me. They're making music, they're writing stories, they're sharing with their kids. So anyone who wants or would like to be involved, I'd love to have your input. So thank you from the owl and I can, my dear. Right. So, um, yes and no. It's me so far, but I've also got like a Ukrainian translator who's volunteered to help me. She's been helping. I've got a group in Ukraine that's making a video of Ukrainian kids doing song flight. We have musicians and artists here in the United States who are contributing. Wes wrote the melody for the song we're about to hear. Um, and there are Ukrainian artists who are also drawing illustrations for the kids as well. So we just got started. So I'm hoping that we'll raise the funds because people can't really work for free. Some people can if they're retired, but um, I'm hoping to raise the funds to be able to pay some people. Like I don't want to have to be able to, or I won't be able to do all the social media outreach. I'll be doing author readings and stuff. So it's a great question. I do. I don't have a lot. I don't have everybody I need. Like when we get on Flipgrid and we have the kids introduce themselves and we're in 10 different countries, who's going to translate the Dutch or the German or the French or people won't work for eucalyptus leaves. Yeah, well, you will, but everybody else will. So anyway, it's a great question. And really, I have to tell you that my opinion is that I have shared this with many people, and anyone that I've shared it with really loves it. That's okay. No, no worries, stranger. Um, and so can only hope and assume that as I start reaching out to media and podcasts and all that, people will jump on board. We'll see, right? I was approached this week by an angel funder. He wanted to know more about the project. So word is starting to get out, and I'm hoping that as it does, we'll start to build that team. I can think of, if you go to our site, thank you, Shiloh. If you go to song-flight.com. You can see our volunteer page and where we're saying what we need and who we need and all that kind of thing. But also take a look at the wall of gratitude, and you will see how many people have already contributed. We have dozens of musicians who have written original songs and donated them to us and said, use it, So when we get someone to master the songs, we'll put out an album and sell that to help fund it. We have ideas. It's just getting started. And I would love to hear any of yours. So when we teleport over to my sim, I will be only typing because I will have voice off so we can hear Wes sing. Please feel free to explore the whole sim. There are teleport pads. Can't break anything. And Wes will play to the top of the hour. Okay, so let's hop on over and listen to the Song Flight song.
Hey, hello everybody. All right, you got me? All right, I'm Wes. This song's called A World Full of Magic. There is a world we can't always see, a world full of magic inside you and me. We open the door and let in the fun. We sing with the birds and smile at the sun. We wink with the fireflies and hoot with the owls, run with the wolves and practice our howls. We all tell our stories and dance with the moon, fly with the butterflies and cry with the loons. We're all made of stardust and kissed by the rain. We're different outside, but inside the same. So whenever you feel like your heart wants to sing, just open your arms and give your voice wings. So whenever you feel like your heart wants to sing, just open your arms and give your voice wings. Yeah, Jenaia wrote the lyrics, and she asked me to come up with the music. So if you want to hear another tune, I got a couple more tunes I had ready for, but that's a beautiful song, Jenaia. I was very honored to be asked to do that. I write mostly love songs. So since you're here, this one's called The Edge of Love. It was a love that would go nowhere, like the clouds in the hot summer air. It was a dream that would not come true. How did I fall in love with you? Your hair in the wind, your eyes full of life, you bring me to the edge of love. As the leaves fall down from the trees, I think I'm falling for you. And the rivers all run downstream, I'm down on my knees for you. Your hair in the wind, your eyes full of life. You bring me to the edge of love. Your hand touching mine, your lips soft and warm. You bring me to the edge of love. It was a love that would go nowhere, like the clouds in the hot summer air. It was a dream that would not come true. How did I fall in love with you? Your hair in the wind, your eyes full of life. You bring me to the edge of love. Your hand touching mine, your lips soft and warm. You bring me to the edge of love. My good friend Dee over there, she is a group helper for me. So if you have any questions or want to join my group, check with her. She has information. I perform in Second Life often. I also perform out in the real world. Very often I'm in a trio. I wrote this song right as the Gulf War started. I spent 10 years in the U.S. military. I look out across the ocean, searching for the Isle of Dreams. Heading for a destination far from mankind's schemes. And my heart longs for you, but I don't know which way is true. So I'll follow the North Star to you. They say the stars are always true. I look out across the desert, searching for the waters of life. I'm heading for a destination far from fear and strife. And my heart longs for you, but I don't know which way is true. So I'll follow the North Star to you. They say the stars are always true. I look out across the forest, searching for the branch of peace. I'm heading for a destination where we can all live in peace. And my heart longs for you, but I don't know which way is true. So I follow the North Star to you. They say the stars are always true. And this Next song is called Sweet Happiness. I went to Iraq in 2006. I was there for over a year, and when I came home, I wrote this song for my wife. Another hour to go, and I'm still feeling your kiss. Another hour or so, and I'm back with the one that I miss. Sweet happiness, that's what I feel when you're in my arms. Everything's so real. Those many years I've been away are like leaves from the trees falling into my memories. Oh, how I've counted the days. Sweet happiness, that's what I feel when you're in my arms. Everything's so real. I left you standing there, breathing in the cold air. You waved goodbye to me, retreating into your memories. Sweet happiness, that's what I feel when you're in my arms. Everything's so real. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Jena, for having me here. I'd like to do one more last song that I wrote just very recently. And I wrote it for a good friend of mine who had lost his wife, very unfortunate circumstances. In those several years, he was, trying to find love again, and he did. He finally found a lovely lady who had lost her husband too. It's amazing how that happens, isn't it? So anyways, he asked me if my trio would sing at his wedding reception, and we went, sure. And I wrote this song for him. It's called Won't You Dance? And this is with my arrangement too, so. When I look into your loving eyes, I can't help but realize how far we've come, babe. You and I, babe. The moment I met you, a spark inside me grew into a fire, babe. A raging fire, babe. With your hand in mine, on this whirlwind romance, for the rest of our lives, won't you dance with me, babe? Walk with me this day, and I will always stay by your side, babe. You have my heart, babe. The memories we'll make, no one will ever take away from us, babe. You and I, babe, with your hand in mine, on this whirlwind romance for the rest of our lives. Won't you dance with me, babe? With your hand in mine, on this whirlwind romance for the rest of our lives. Won't you dance with me, babe? With me, babe. Hey, thank you, Jenaia, again for having me, and hope you guys enjoyed that. And that's all for me. Have a great day, okay? And this is a wonderful program, and I'm very very thankful that I could be a part of it, to do what little I can to help in such a great cause and a great program that Jenaia has set up. Thank you very much. Take care, everybody. Bye.